What's up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson. We are back with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. This is the place where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom. We've got a couple of our favorite people on the line with us today. We've got Curtis Fenn of REDX. We've got Gene Volpe, the bald Volpenator himself, the evil bald ninja. And I am here sporting my winter beard because down in San Diego, it's rained like 4 out of the last 8 days. It's 50 degrees. It's unacceptable, and therefore, in protest, I'm growing a winter beard.
Your face blanket? You have a face blanket?
My face blanket, exactly. Getting a little out of hand. I'm going to have to take care of it. But I'm going in for a root canal today, so I said screw it because I'm not going to see the world for the next few days. So my co-host is in the co-pilot seat where you so belong. I know you feel my pain, and you probably feel my pain, the same pain that I feel whenever you show up and look scruffy. Now you know exactly how it feels. Greg McDaniel, what's up today?
I was just going to say you're devilishly good looking. I mean, you finally have caught the trend that the rest of the U.S. has caught on to with the face blankets.
I finally jumped on the Duck Dynasty bandwagon.
Yeah. All we need to do is get you in camo and sitting in a duck blind, and you complete the scene as you chew spit, and you're chewing tobacco and just spitting it out on yourself as it drools into your beard. That would complete the scene. And scene. Okay, perfect.
Okay, good.
No, I'm really glad to have Curtis on. We're going to talk about some really cool stuff, talking about what new agents are screwing up royally. And, I hope you guys pay attention because the information Curtis is going to bring. Wow, I was reading the comments on the side, and Aaron's name popped up. I'm like, Aaron, no, Curtis. Shit, who's on the show?
To say we might be a little loopy on this one. I have not eaten anything or taken any supplements this morning, so I make no guarantees or promises as to my mental acuity today.
Well, yes, and since Gene and I went so deep, we went down a deep hole in the last show. We're gonna keep this one light and fluffy, like bakeries, like pastries, like a fluffy brownie. We're gonna keep it like that. Okay. So, anyways, back to you, Matt. And someone is everyone on the podcast.
I'm assuming that's you, Gene.
It's not me, but it's
not you.
I do drink craft beer.
That's hilarious.
Man, I can't even grow a beard, so I'm the one that's being left out. Mine just looks sad.
Like
listen, you're handsome. You can get away with it. I'm covering up the ugliness, or as my wife says, the 3 chins.
Yeah, exactly.
You have more chins than the Chinese phone book? Is that what you're saying? Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
All right. Before this show evolves or devolves too bad, first of all, Curtis, welcome. We're super pumped to have you here.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So when we were talking through what we we're going to cover on the show today, there was a bunch of different ideas we were bouncing around because you get to kind of talk to agents day in and day out. Some of them are top producers, some of them are beginners that are kind of jumping on the platform. For those of you that don't know, it's the same platform that Greg uses in his live calling. So if you've caught his live calls on Facebook before, same platform. So Curtis, you're essentially the chief marketing officer for REDX, and you're the one that's really driving the development of giving the agents what they actually need, right? The equipment that they actually need to do what they need to do. And so you need to understand what works. And so you're really big on modeling the top producers. But you made an interesting point when we were chatting, which is that the top producers are sometimes doing things that we shouldn't be modeling, right? There's certain things that top producers are doing that you wouldn't necessarily tell a new agent to do. And so there's things that new agents are probably copying that they shouldn't be, and they're screwing up. And so we're going to hopefully fix that and straighten some people out. So before we get into that, let's just talk about a little bit on who do you consider a top producer? Give me a couple of examples, not necessarily names, but when you think of a top producer, someone who's really effectively using a program like REDX and they're doing it right. What does that look like? What's that picture where you picture that in your mind?
Sure, I'll give you 2 answers. One is based on a lot of the research we do, where we at some point we had to draw a line in the sand with income. It was the most universal number that we could collect from all agents. And so when we look, and we went big because we went aspirational. I mean, most people want to go big. So when we do research and we do a lot of surveys, we look at agents who are making $250,000 or more in GCI, and we compare those to everybody else. So that's one answer. So a lot of, if I throw out a statistic, from some study or research that we've done, typically a top producer means somebody who's making over $250K in a year.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable, especially in most parts of the country.
Yeah, but the other answer would be I think what everybody aspires to do, which is living the life that they want to live. And that comes as we're all business owners. Real estate agents are business owners. They don't, I hope we get into that, because that's not what they're doing. They don't treat what they do like a business. They don't even do regular business practices like lead gen and lead follow up and things like that. But they're businesses. And I think what provides somebody the lifestyle that they want is when their business becomes sustainable and predictable, right? And if an agent is wondering, where that next commission check is coming from, and they can't see that of where that money's coming from, that's not good. That's not fun.
Yeah,
that doesn't give you the freedom that you're looking for. So you could call a top producer, and that varies based on what the person's happiness needs are. I mean, some people want a yacht, and some people want a single wide in the country. So at that point, the income doesn't matter, but it's about that's you, right, Matt?
Yeah, I was going to say that's Greg right. Piping in. It was so subtle there, but I caught it. I got it, Greg.
So yeah, I think it's about predictability and sustainability. And when somebody's business gets to that point, you can make future decisions because you know what's coming in. I memean, there's so many agents that when they look at their tax at the end of the year and they go, wow, I made 130 grand. They're not even living as well as somebody that makes 65 grand, but they get a regular paycheck every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because agents don't know how to, So when it becomes sustainable and predictable.
You know what? We had a guest on the show, Zach Beach, and his father-in-law, Chris Prefontaine. They have a program called QLS. I just signed my contract with them, and I'm going to learn from them on how to do a predictable, scheduled income by doing and working with their program. And it's something after 19 years in real estate, I can honestly tell you that it feels legitimately better to know, like, okay, I have these under contract. I'm not only as good as my last deal. I do have sustainable income, reoccurring income, calendared paydays, both on the front, the middle, and the end. And it's one of those feelings. By the way, I love the shit out of REDX, and for rent by owners, we'll talk about predictive. It's insane. But anyways, I don't want to take away from the subject matter, which I know is driving Matt's brain crazy at this moment.
But why
he's thinking about the single wide in the country right now, Greg.
He is.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm upgrading to that bad boy.
I know. I'm going to Tony Robbins that dream. I'm make it big, bright, and vivid. Yeah. All right. So let's. All right. So Curtis, you made the comment when we were chatting beforehand that the things that you would recommend somebody to do now to become a top producer is not necessarily the same things that top producers are doing right now when you look at them kind of once they've already achieved that status, right? So once somebody hits multiple six figures, they've got predictable income, they've got sustainability, they can start to take some chances on things. And I'm sure you say the same thing I do out there in the world, which is a lot of times people are taking chances on, for example, ramping up spending with online lead generation, bringing on other agents, things like that, right? So those are some of the things that we see those top producers do. And I think there's a lot of new agents out there that aspire to that. And especially when they think that's the answer to lead generation and lead follow-up is just to spend more. I think that's getting people into a lot of trouble. Does that jive? Are you seeing some of those same things?
Oh yeah, I think, yeah, and this goes back to the root of the problem is we lack training infrastructure in our industry. It's why there's so many coaches and trainers and programs out there that you can buy, is because the only thing you're learning in your licensing school is how not to get sued. And so we lack this training infrastructure. So people come in the industry and they go, okay, well, they see somebody who's doing what they want to do, who's living a pretty good life. And they go to them and they go, hey Matt, you seem like you know what you're doing. What are you doing in your business? Well, and those top producers answer what they're currently doing in their business. And they go, well, yeah, most of my business comes from referrals and my past clients. And so these new agents go, okay, great. But they don't have past clients. They don't have a network of people to get database or referrals from. So then they sit there and they hustle their friends and family like that's some smart business strategy, which is not. Nobody wants you at the dinner table begging for a real estate deal. And so that's the problem is that they're asking a top producer, what are you doing in your business? And they tell them, but that's not what they did to get there. And that's the better question that new agents need to be asking.
Yeah,
how did you
get to that? Greg,
level?
your
How did
dad
you
was really
start?
good at that.
Yeah, no, yeah. When he started, I mean, now like he can go to Starbucks and just kind of sit there, and people come up, and the referrals will just flow in like manna and honey from heaven. But when he started, that's not how it was. He'd work 15, 20-hour days. He was door knocking in the snow, no joke, in Boulder, Colorado. He worked so I didn't even see him growing up. He did a couple of things with me. He would coach my baseball, and he would be my Boy Scout and Cub Scout, group leader. Those are the things he would do. Besides that, I didn't see the man. And I didn't know the difference. His dad was at work, right? He'd get up and be at work at 6 o'clock in the morning. He'd come back at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night every single day. We would go on vacation. He would sleep for 3 days straight. And then he'd kind of like sleep more for the first week. And then the second week, he'd be like, all right, let's go do something. Because he was so depleted. People chase a shiny object in this business because they see everyone online that has this perfect life, this perfect car, this perfect house, this perfect wife, perfect cousin, perfect business. They're all full of shit. Every one of them is flawed. Every one of them has bad days. Every one of them struggles like you wouldn't believe. They're keeping their nose just above the water from drowning in some aspect of their life. So if you think that you're the abnormal one by having hard times, you're 100% normal. So never think that it's not going to be a struggle. And if you have it so easy that you don't struggle, you better watch out for the tidal wave that's coming from behind you because you're going to get knocked on your ass. You always got to be hustling. You always got to be striving. That's why you have to. I love what Curtis is saying. And Curtis, as long as it's business that I've been in it, I've never really thought about that, but you make a phenomenal point. Top agents give their strategies to someone that the newer agent can't implement because they don't have the background knowledge or the people around them to give them the support and the leads. That's a phenomenal point you just made. So how do you counteract that?
So I'll answer that, but I want to go back, because if people are watching, I think the advantage that we have now that your dad didn't have is technology. I mean, so everybody's not freaked out that, oh man, if I want to be successful, I got to go hustle 15-hour days and sleep through the first 3 days of vacation. If they're freaking out, the answer for your dad was yes, that's how you had to do it. But with technology now, that there's such an advantage if you're doing the right things with the right technology, and it doesn't have to cost you the farm. You don't have to invest $5,000 a month on ad spend to try to generate leads and all of these things that people are trying to do. Technology can expedite this process to get there. And then remind me what your question was.
Oh, I don't know. I forgot about that.
You gave it. You answered it. Yeah. The remedy is technology. Yeah. The remedy is not to imitate what worked for Greg's dad, just in terms of all the activities that he did, and just the sheer amount of it, right? Because he was starting just from nothing. I mean, I don't think your dad knew hardly anyone in Boulder when he started out. He just he had zero. Just starting from absolute zero. But
when he started in Boulder, he had just gotten married to my mom. They had just gotten back from their honeymoon. He had to borrow $50 from his new father-in-law to take his new bride on a honeymoon. Awkward. But I mean, he had nothing and no one at all, just hustle and grind. But his mindset was, and this is what carries through to today. His mindset was two things. One, everybody likes me, they just haven't met me yet. And number two is, I have the solution to their problem. That was his mindset. He went out to every person he met, said, you like me, you just don't know me, and I can help you with whatever issue you have. And that's what transcends both his era and today's era.
Yeah.
Well,
the principle of what he did hasn't changed. Technology can expedite, but what he was doing. So here's the big secret, and this is what new agents need to understand. Is that if you want to sit back and watch those referrals come in, and you just know that if you do a certain amount of things that business is coming. If you want to get to that point, you have to hustle to build a sphere or center of influence, a network of people that will continue to refer your business. So your dad did that by knocking doors, by meeting with people, by doing that. You could do that today. You could still go out and knock on a bunch of doors, and interestingly enough, in one of our studies, 56% of all agents that made over $250,000 still went out and knocked doors.
Yeah.
So
well, knocking doors is fun. It's fun to go
so
knock doors.
yeah, so you could still do that, but again, we see a lot of new agents go, somehow knocking doors is beneath them, that they're not going to do that. They're going to do it a smarter way or a better way. But you have to build a database of people that are going to refer you business. And that's where technology can help expedite that. I mean, that's why we're in business, is we have technology to connect you with a whole bunch more people so that you can expedite that process of building a database or network of people that is going to continue to give you business, forever.
Yep, and that's the goal. I think it's a struggle for agents to think this way, but I don't think it's unique to agents necessarily. It's definitely something that I see people struggle with in other areas, that people struggle with in the agency world, people struggle with it in sales in general. Just thinking of it, we think in terms of ourselves and what we want and less about other people. And I think that's the key. When we think about building that database of people that are willing to refer us, it's about them. It's not about us. And it forces us to kind of think outside of ourselves. Like, we all know we want more clients, we want more money, more income, more freedom. That's where most agents live, right? Well, I need more, I need more clients. I need the next client. I don't have any more clients. I just sold my last house, or I just helped my last buyer. And so we come at it from that point of view of, I need X. And that may be true, but the best way to solve that problem is by flipping it around and thinking about the people on the other side. Well, if I'm not getting the referrals that I want, why am I not getting the referrals? Well, it's because there's not a group of people that I've already built trust with. Okay, well, now I need to go back upstream and start talking to more people, giving out more value, and start building up that bank of people that have that trust in me to where they're willing to refer me. And I think we lose sight of that a lot. And Greg, you and I have talked about this a lot with your own database, and just that's probably the key. If you were to point probably one thing out where you'd probably go back and change the way that your team operated 5 or 10 years ago, it would be to do way more to build that trust and that relationship with the people in your guys' database, because things would be even better. That, like, the sales would come even easier now.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely did build that trust, but this is where it happened, is that we got too splintered, and things fell through the cracks because I'm gonna break out in hives. We didn't have the right systems, Matt, put into place. Gene is grinning from ear to ear over there. But it's the truth, because I'm using KV Core now that we're with EXP, selfish plug. And with KV Core, they have the smart CRM in there, and it's phenomenal to watch the automation. And I picked up a new buyer, and this lady is this senior VP of a credit union, and she got back with me because I had such an air quotes great follow-up system. And I'm like, yeah, about that. But I'm picking up clients because of those systems. And I think that, Curtis, goes back to your point. And Gene, I want you to jump in on this because you've been awkwardly quiet. And I want to talk about the technology. The technology is there. I mean, we have Beverly Ruffner on the show. She's developing a great follow-up system as well. This is only going to get smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter. We have chatbots. We have AI coming down the pipe. There's no excuse for you not to be doing the follow-up and staying in front of people on a consistent basis with automated programs and customized programs. So, Gene, what are you seeing? I mean, for your stuff, I mean, when it comes to follow-up and AI and data, automation and so on and so forth, where do you see this going, man?
It's going to revert back to old world ways. So 2019 is the year of the face-to-face, right? We've been talking about that forever. So as technology grows and there's more opportunity for me to stay in front of you, I think it gets more confusing and more noisy. And so the challenge becomes from our end, how do we give this potential client or the person we're touching the next 44 times over the next year, how do we give them the content that they want on the channel or the mechanism that they want? And I think that's where it's going to start to get real. I mean, you see it now. It's all changing, right? So YouTube's changing. Instagram Live's changing, Facebook's changing. People are pulling off long tail content on Facebook because they're saying it now needs to be shorter, but people are going to YouTube to watch the long content. I mean, it's just all over the place. So I think it's just a matter at this point of giving people enough on their channel of choice, let's say, or platform of choice that you're there when they need to think about what you're providing them, and then you need to be accessible enough that you can hold that face-to-face with them and establish that trust. Because I think people it's so busy right now. It's so noisy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, everybody's advertising on Facebook. Okay, everybody's doing all this stuff. I've never had. I guess my neighborhood is a little different because we're closed and there's no loitering, right? But I've never had a real estate agent knock on my door.
Interesting. Really, never?
Yeah. No, never. And
crazy.
I've been here for 16 years, right?
Wow. Well, it's because
16, are you ready to sell? I know you can.
Look at Curtis just jumping in there
I
for
think
the
Curtis
kill.
beat us to that joke. Come on.
Right.
He did. But so something interesting. Ironically, I was going through YouTube. I was up early this morning. I was going through our YouTube channel, Matt, and I went back and I listened to one of Nick Sakas's videos he did with us back in 2017.
Okay.
And he was saying in that video, and it's even that short of a time frame where our marketing has shifted. He was saying in that video, because Facebook Live had just basically come out at that point and really gone wide at right then. He said, I think YouTube's dead. Facebook is the place to be because of for long form content. And now we've seen the fact that that's the complete reverse. Facebook is dead for live video. It has to be short, snappy, like freeway signs. Just quickly look at it and keep going. YouTube is long form. It's your own TV channel, right? And it's funny to see how things within just a few years shifted 180 degrees. But here's the question. Did it really shift? Or did we just get the shiny object syndrome?
Interesting question. Considering Facebook's like goosing their live video views, I would say it's at least a healthy bit of both. Curtis,
I am the most interesting man in the world, so of course it's an interesting question.
I was just going to jump in and say, the technology and the message of even what Gene was saying, and then with Greg following up is, and our director of content says this all the time. It's about the right message to the right person at the right time on the right platform, right? But even with all of that, and with chatbots and with automation and where people want to go and what you're competing with entertainment and all of these things, we need to remember that all of this technology is to help facilitate eventually a human interaction and connection. Mm-hmm. And as soon as we try to replace and that's the mistake that people do in the transition from lead gen, building my network. If they don't have a system of follow-up for their database, then that was all for nothing. They can't build sustainability off of not having a relationship with their database. Mm-hmm. But then that's another common mistake we see is that people are trying to replace these interactions with automation, and that's going away. I mean, we're seeing the shift from content blocking and structured content in the marketing world, which is essentially bots creating custom messages for people. It's like when you go to a website and they know who you are, so they display men's clothing versus females clothing because they know who you are. Even those things are starting to go away, and because there's no authenticity, we're starting to catch on as a people and going, I need human interaction. I need connection with people. And so all of that technology should be used to facilitate eventually a human interaction.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And you got to have the skills when you get to the interaction. You got to have the skills to actually translate that into something.
Now, I don't think you need very many skills nowadays. I mean,
the ability to talk to another human being.
I was in a marketing conference, where the guy stands up and he goes, "You want to build a business? Be slightly better than crap." And that bothered me for a long time. But then I noticed all of the interactions I have in customer service and with these things, and it's all crap. And I'm like, yeah, if you were just slightly better than what's going on, you would crush it. And so I agree. It was a little tongue in cheek. You need the skill, but you just need to pick up half the time is just like open your mouth and have a conversation is more than other people are doing.
Yeah, that is a very, very true fact. One of my good friends, Miss Veronica Jones from Texarkana, Texas. I just like saying that. I do it every time. But she's watching us right now, and she is phenomenal at getting personal. She will go the extra mile. She will go and sit with someone in at a restaurant or at their home and go over stuff, meet them, go face to face, build that chemistry, build that rapport. And guys, in the last, I believe I might get these numbers wrong. And Veronica, post them here in case I screw them up. I think in the last month or two, Guess how? Okay, she's in Texarkana, Texas. The average sales price like 120,000, something like that. Guess how much she's built in volume in her pipeline? Guess. There's 3 other people. Guess.
70 million.
Come on, man. 70 million, really?
I don't know.
Seven.
7 million?
No, $7.
$7.
$7. You're on Price is Right strategy on me. I bid $1. Just tell us, Greg. We can't do math today. This is a terrible episode to ask us to do math.
1.9 million in volume in 1 to 2 months of just being hyper personal. People want to be hyper local, but you need to be hyper personal. And when Curtis was talking, something came to my mind. I'm like, how can I make different? Because I have this list of these people that have a high propensity to be selling. I'm like, how can I be doing more personal moves? And I'm like, print out a property report for them, staple it. And each one of these properties in these high-priced areas with the highest likelihood of selling, go and personally drop it off. Say, hey, I don't know if you're thinking about selling, but here's a report we're dropping off for some of the people here in the area. I don't know, something like that, or maybe I don't know. There's something that we're missing, that we're all missing. I was going to drop off an RPR report. You guys know what an RPR report is? No. It's for Real Estate Property Report, and the National Association puts it out. So if you guys are listening to this, go to NARPR.com, and you can have access to it. Any licensed agent has access to it. It's free to all of us. So,
nice. Rapper.com. Got it. Okay.
Rapper.com.
All right. So, Curtis, tell me real quick. First of all, how do people get in touch and learn more about REDX, and then maybe give some best practices before we jump off and sign off for the day?
Okay. You just go to our website, theredx.com. And we've got lots of videos. We've got lots of free stuff. Check out our blog. We spend a lot of time interviewing agents and finding out their best practices and putting it out there so that agents can create sustainability in their business. I think just for your second question of lead gen, look, REDX, we're all about helping people get to this point in their businesses where they have this database where this sustainable business where money's coming in, they know what's doing because they have systems, they have their sphere center of influence in place. But you get there by talking to a lot of people, and again, you can go knock doors 15 hours a day in the snow, or you could pick up the phone and start having conversations, and that starts on one end of the pendulum with expireds. Sometimes that's a harder conversation to get going, They may have had a bad experience, or you go to the other end, which is a GeoLeads product where it's just pulling up a neighborhood and prospecting to a neighborhood, where you could just talk to them about just listed or just sold or an open house you're having or whatever the case may be. But there's a spectrum of people you could call. Depending on how thick your skin is and how much you deal with rejection. We have leads for everybody. Like the for rent by owners that Greg was talking about, those, have you ever had any one of those pissed off that you called them?
No, none of them. And it's a uniquely awesome thing because you have 2 different opportunities there. You can talk to them about if they want to sell that investment property, which most of the time they always say no because they like it because it's cash flow. And then you immediately, pivot and you go like, well, are you looking to purchase any more additional investment properties? I'm always talking to people. And a lot of them go like, well, yeah, if the numbers make sense. You guys recently switched and it's now Agent Assist with REDX, and it goes in and it pulls the expireds out of the MLSs. And I cleaned up my expireds with you guys, got rid of like 8 years of just dead wood. It's just when you go too far back, it's just not helpful, right? But the new ones, dude, I've set 2 CMAs in 4 days with 3 other leads, and one lady I'm gonna call today to see if I'm gonna go to her house tomorrow on Saturday for a CMA because it was botched by an agent who was out of the area. It's like low hanging fruit. You're just picking shit off the tree, man. It's just ripe and ready to go. But people, I for 19 years in the business, I poo-pooed it and said, oh, poo-poo, there's not enough. Oh, I don't want to do it. Oh, I don't know what. Forgive my language, I'm a fucking moron. Because this stuff is it's right there. they want to sell. It's like a hot girl like handing you her card in a bar. You're like, no, I'm cool, man. I don't really need that. I'm cool.
Yeah.
It's like makes no sense.
You're swiping right on every expired lead, Greg. So
Nice.
so, Well, but here's the thing. I mean, you could spend, thousands and thousands of dollars to generate leads online. Typically, they're buyer leads, and the industry standard is 3 to 4% conversion on those leads. Or you could spend, $70 a month and get all of the contact data for leads in your area who are raising their hand saying, I want to sell my home. And yeah, that's where the skill comes in to figure out how to start these conversations. But here's what we know. We know that if you go out and you help somebody whose home expired, then sell their property, you turn that a negative experience, 6 months plus on the market, into a sold home. That person that you pull into your past client database is a huge evangelist for your business, because you were able to do something that other agents weren't able to do.
Yeah.
And that type of person in your sphere of influence will give you referrals when you ask.
Yeah.
So it's not just expired, but yeah, the for sale by owners, they're trying it on their own. Then you come in as a hero and you help save the day and help them move to the next stage of their life. It's the pre-foreclosure data where they need your help. You're the hero. All of those types of leads that you help sell their homes become the best past clients because you are the hero that did something that they or another agent couldn't do.
Yeah,
so that's how that's where you start in building your database.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. All right, gentlemen, I have to bail. Sadly, my time has come. I know. Cue the music. I will be exiting stage right, but you guys continue on without me.
Cheering, applauding is taking place in all.
Well, hey, as my coach said, like Beethoven got 5 standing ovations when he debuted like the 9th Symphony or something. So I'll take a modest 4.
The humility abounds.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want wait before you run? You want some eye candy before you go to the chair?
Yeah.
Sure.
Here, I got this for you.
Oh God.
Yeah. What is going on here?
Mouth.
See it?
The evil bald ninja. Oh, if you're listening on iTunes, I wish you could see this. We need to figure out a way to put this on our Facebook page.
Get to RULive.com and look at it.
Yeah.
I got to fix this up a little bit, but he's going to be coming at you. Wapachow.
Wapachow. All right. Matt's going to be out of here. Matt, good luck on getting your face drilled on your root canal, my friend. May you come out of it in pieces. Not in pieces.
Oh, thank you. That's bless you too, Greg. Appreciate it.
Go with you, my child.
All right. Later, guys.
Bye, Matt. All right, Matt. Curtis, Gene, you're here with me for a few more minutes, right?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I got 6 or 7. Yep.
Curtis, give us your contact number for everybody real quick so they can reach out, and then let's talk about the deal so they can waive their startup fee, what we can do for them.
Sure. Yep. So 800-731-7339. Talk to anybody on the sales floor. Just mention that you heard about us on the podcast, Real Estate Uncensored, and they'll waive the $149 setup fee, which includes all of the training that you can handle. If you need somebody to sit with you for 3 hours to walk you through it and get you going, that's what we'll do. So, but we'll waive that setup fee to get you going. And that's for any of the lead types.
That's $150, guys. 150 schmackers. So, Gene, where can everyone reach out and get a hold of you for everything that you do digital and marketing wise?
GeneVolpe.com. Get to the site. There's a little widget on the side that comes up. Fill out your information, and my people will call your people.
And we'll do lunch. Okay.
And we could do lunch if you're local. Absolutely.
Dude, I'm going to come out to Philly, and we're going to go get a Philly cheesesteak. We're going to do something like that one of these days.
You let me know, bro. I'll show you the town.
I'm in. All right, guys, and for me, as always, go to bookmcdaniel.com. Again, it's bookmcdaniel.com. Let's talk about EXP. I'm rocking my shirt here. Let's talk about making money. Let's talk about selling real estate. Let's talk about growing your passive income. And if you don't want to recruit, don't recruit. If you want to sell houses and make more money, that's where most people live. I'll show you statistically on my spreadsheet how, I'll put all your fees in, all of our fees in, and I'll show you how you can make more money at the end of the day with EXP. So go to bookmcdaniel.com. We'll go there. Gene, pick me a color for my bow to put on this show. Wow,
let's go with turquoise.
Turquoise. I love turquoise. All right, we're gonna have turquoise bow. Guys, thank you for watching. Curtis, thank you for coming on, man. You and everyone
Thanks
over
so
at
much.
REDX are amazing. I talk with Justin all the time. And, guys, go check out their blog. Go to theredx.com. Go to the blog. You will be blown away by the content that team puts up there. It is next level awesome stuff that you can put into your business. Tell a friend, tell a colleague, pet your cat, love your dog. Make sure you come back and watch the show again. Give us a 15-star review on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube, and iTunes, and everywhere else out there that you hear this show. But until next time, peace out, ninjas. We're gone.